So, first topic. Ant-Man 3, I said when it released, because they are front-loaded films. Marvel films are front-loaded.
Mm-hmm.
I said when it released, that's real bad. It's going to be a bomb. We're now a couple weeks into its release, 3-4 weeks. Major movies are being released. It's now looking like it will not go anywhere close to $500 million. With the budget that it's had, that puts it at a certified bomb. It will lose anywhere in the region of 50, 100 to $150 million. Pretty big bomb. And what they're doing now off the back end of that Marvel is using Reddit as a scapegoat. Are Marvel leaks or Marvel Studios leaks is a subreddit on Reddit, obviously, where they had the transcript for subtitles in a foreign language, basically, for the film. And people were posting, not verbatim, but they were posting elements of the script. And now Marvel is suggesting, essentially, that that's the reason that, hey, the movie's bombed. They've subpoenaed Reddit to get the identities and the IP addresses of the leakers. Pretty big precedent if this goes through. I don't think it will, because there are certain countries where, by law, they're not allowed to give out that information. It's private. You're not allowed to give out that information, I believe. So that's going to be difficult. So this is pretty big if this goes through. I don't think it will. But what do we think of that? And waiting in the wings here was Culture. Well, let's get to you first. What do you think of that? Pretty major turn of events. Subpoenaing Reddit and Google for IP addresses and names, identities.
They're seeking to abuse DMCA. And again, since we know a little bit about how this came about, because the transcript seemingly originally was in Portuguese, that'd be Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe that they're not going to be able to find any sort of authority that will allow them to do anything along with that. I think Reddit's going to make it quite clear to Disney that in addition to that, doesn't even fall into that wheelhouse of DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So yeah. I strongly feel like they will tell them to pound sand at the end of the day.
So they already have. They've given a very small response, very straight and down the line, though. And their response was, Reddit is committed to protecting our users' privacy. We have rigorous processes in place to assess legal requests and object when appropriate. That's it. That's their one response, which to me is basically, fuck off.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah. That's business language for eat a bag of dicks. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But what a strange turn of events that they're basically like, Reddit's the reason why it bombed, because I mean that's basically what they're doing. This is a bit of smoke and mirrors to suggest that Reddit essentially led to that film bombing. Just admit that the film's crap. It's garbage. Just own it, right? Just own it. Don't run off to Reddit and be like, oh, they're the reasons now. Obviously, they're not saying it, but they are saying it by not saying it and doing what they're doing. Tragic.
Well,
Nick? No. Keep going, Coach.
I was just going to say anything to point a finger at somebody else for your failure. That's like it's normal. This is typical of all of the new employees, the new generation of employees at Disney, is to find fault with everybody else. If you can't attack the fans for the film failing, attack the person that released your transcript, because we couldn't possibly have just given the world a big pile of dog shit now, could we have?
Yeah, we couldn't have been reshooting it in January, We could have been reshooting stuff in January. I mean, that's definitely not a sign of a bad film, is it?
Indeed.
For goodness sake.
Indeed.
Oh, goodness, man. I know someone waiting in the wings here. Tom, probably you got something to say here. Drop in.
Oh, yeah. It's a good look with this. It's called freedom of speech, freedom of the press. This is dumber than the YouTuber who said that people should be prosecuted for spoilers. I'm like,
I remember that.
Are you insane? Like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, this is just a few weeks ago too. So this, I'm glad Reddit and Google said go to hell, because to me this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What is next?
Well, it's just Reddit at this point that have said that. I'm not sure. We haven't heard any kind of response from Google specifically or anyone else. But what they have done, Reddit has done, is shut the subreddit down. Like you can't access it now, which I guess is like it makes sense to do it just briefly. Just shut it down, deal with all of this, then open it back up. Hopefully. But yeah, I mean, they want IP addresses. I mean, there's massive privacy concerns doing this. It opens up and sets a massive precedent. I don't think this will go through simply just from that perspective, outside of freedom of the press, freedom of speech, etc. Literally just from that element, I don't think it will go through, just because it sets a very dangerous precedent for companies to abuse.
Well, in my understanding, wasn't it translated from the script that was for subtitles anyway, or something like that? You were saying before.
Yeah. Yes, it was a subtitle.
So it's in another country. So unless they're going to sue them in that country or prosecute them in that country, they're going to try to extradite them to the U.S. Because I can see them laughing about that too. They're like, "Are you serious over a freaking movie script? Give us a break."
Yeah, well, but this is the revealing element, isn't it, ladies and gents? Is that this obviously this has cost Marvel what they believe has now cost them, millions of dollars, because this movie is a certified bomb, absolute huge dump truck of bombs going off, awful.
Yeah, it wasn't because the movie was bad at all. It was just because of this. And not only the movie being bad, but everything they've been doing here recently has been bad, which makes people not really show a whole lot of interest in going and seeing the next new piece of trash that you're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the interesting thing, isn't it? Right? I think looking at it from multifaceted elements. So the movie's bombed. They're now doing this. But wasn't it so funny is when the film came out, everyone was like, "Oh, it's just an Ant-Man film. Don't worry about it. It's just an Ant-Man film." Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, this is really good for an Ant-Man. They've opened to the strongest ever in the series, and now they're like, "Fuck, it's not even going to hit $500 million." Right? Subpoena. So go. I mean, what an admissions of absolute, of fault there.
I mean, it's not like this is Wolverine Origins all over again, where the whole movie gets dropped.
Didn't one of the Expendables films get leaked as well on torrent before it was?
I think so.
Released as well. I'm pretty certain it did.
Goodness, but also these, like Tom was saying, these people are in another country. They're probably not using their real names. If they're smart, they're probably using a VPN when they're doing this stuff,
and singular use.
Google, I mean,
for accounts and stuff.
For them to track these people down in another country, I just don't see it happening.
They're going to send the Winter Soldier after him.
Yeah. How dare you leak this script?
Yeah. Well, how dare you leak our absolute garbage script? How dare you tell everyone, warn them that this film's shit?
Well, but we've had entire films released, as Nick was saying, and one of them was, and you have to go back a long ways, was the original Matrix. You could watch the original Matrix about 2 weeks before it actually made it into theaters.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. You could get it. It was out there in the world.
Like the same thing happened to Hulk and the Wolverine Origins movie. Like other movies have leaked early, and they've been able to go after people for those. That's a little bit of a different scenario here. We're talking about actual film, the movie itself. Leaking out.
I'm going to stop, Tom. I'm just really thinking about this. How the fuck can I get my money back?
Ask Disney. Like,
because I'm pissed.
Have you seen that South Park episode with Mel Gibson?
Seen this shit for free, Tom. Get out of here.
Refund.
Don't blame me.
I gotta blame somebody.
That's
what Bob see that South Park episode with Mel Gibson? I gotta imagine it's about as easy to get your money out of Disney as it is Mel Gibson.
Yes, that's a very funny.
I want my $2 or $5 or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah. So, Paulie, what do you think about this?
That's
literally it. That's your
no. It's like if Viv is making any money, would this be an issue? Would this
no, exactly. This is what I mean. Like, what like projection going on here. They're just revealing how frustrated they are with this film right now.
And it got buried so fast, this film. It's so forgettable. It's done. It's over because it sucked when it came out. And they did those reshoots. You guys know how I feel about the film. And you had all these better films that have come out since then. No one's talking about Ant-Man. This is a freaking joke, man. Cocaine Bear is still making money. Come on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cocaine Bear actually dropped on video on demand today.
There you go.
Well, the funny thing is, didn't so Puss in Boots released on video on demand at the same time, and that's absolutely steamrolled the box office, hasn't it? So it goes to show that people will go and watch a movie in the theaters, even when they can see it at home, because they want to see it in the theaters. If it's good, they want that experience. They want to see it on the big screen. So it just goes to show just how, again, by comparison with respect to, Ant-Man and the Wasp, just how bad it is. I mean, people just don't care about it. Bad word of mouth, shitty film. No one's interested.
Yeah.
But Marvel's got to, attack Reddit, I guess, because they're to blame. Not them. Oh, no accountability to yourself.
But, I mean, is that what they have sunk to?
Well, yeah, we said it now.
It's just like it's like
literally it.
It's now a new low where your headlines that you're making is your actors don't get along with each other. No one cares about anything that you're doing that's new, and then this
legal action.
Yeah, then legal action. Yeah, what a mess.
It is an epic mess.
I put this whole thing along the same lines of like a kid saying, you called me a name, I'm going and telling,
Right.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That they're even attempting.
It's actually almost worse than that. If you think about it, Nick, it's nefarious in a sense that if they actually were to succeed at this, like what if Reddit were to buckle, right? And give in to Disney because they were scared of them or some shit. And somebody who's going to get, 10 years in prison or a huge fine just for telling people that Ant-Man sucked.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is why I don't think it'll happen, because you just can't. Like, it sets such a bad precedent. Exactly. I don't think that they will.
Oh, people would revolt against Reddit.
Like that website would be done.
Yeah.
The moment that happens, the website's gone.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if legally they can do this, because isn't there certain laws that protect us as consumers as well?
Yeah,
so we have the right to know certain things about anything we are going to be paying money for. So I think it would fall into that purview, but that's just me. I mean, there was times when Siskel and Ebert would do reviews. They'd flat out give away an entire movie if they didn't like it sometimes. Wouldn't give a crap. The studios would hate it, but they couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you're completely right.
Yeah, whoever dropped this probably didn't sign any NDA or anything like that, or have any agreement with them. They probably just happened to get their hands on it, and they weren't in any kind of contract with Disney, so they're shared it to the world.
Yeah, well, so this has happened with me, with certain stuff. So I had the script for The Predator. And I made loads of videos on it, and everyone was like, you're talking shit. I'm like, I'm not. I promise you, this is the script. It's completely legit. And then I had Fox contacting me going, we'd really like you to take these videos down. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to lose money. Like, I don't have any agreements with you. Like, no. Like, why would I do that? And so they just blacklisted me instead.
Wow. Did they try... did they try drilling you on how you got it or who you got?
No. I mean, they were very threatening with sort of legality issues.
Wow.
So I have a friend who is in he's a lawyer, but he's in acquisitions and stuff. So I was like, well, he knows legalese. It's not the same, but he knows legalese. So I was like, what's the deal here? And he was like, you don't have any, what? No, you don't have a legally binding contract with them. That's fine. No, just literally
that also falls under freedom of the press, like I was saying before. So or even freedom of speech. And again, I mean, it may be a little different since you're in another country, Nate, but at the same time, I would think, considering it's something like this, that, Disney is an American company, right? So again, unless they have a way of taking care of this person in whatever country they're from, I just don't see this coming to any conclusion where Disney gets anything out of this. Like, right? What are they going to do?
I think this is sort of peacocking almost, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nick. Because even let's just say for the sake of argument, they do actually find out who this individual was. The amount of money that they claim this individual has cost them compared to, you know, what they'd actually get out of this. Like,
how can you work that out? Like, there is no way to quantify that.
Exactly. Like, first of all, you'd have to actually prove in some way that your movie was good enough that people would have wanted. That's why I know some court is they're just going to throw it out. It's like, even if it got to some point, they're just like, well, how do you quantify this? Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to prove losses, first of all. And in this case, I think you have a hard time doing that because the movie itself didn't leak. It's just a description.
Exactly. Just elements of it, just plot elements. Which those things leak all the time.
Right.
Even for Marvel movies, they've been leaking all the time. But this is the one that they go after. Why? Because it's a bomb. That's why.
We knew the entire movie of The Rise of Skywalker before it ever came out.
I was going to bring that up too,
yeah.
And
exactly.
we were already reacting quite negatively to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.